Hey everyone, welcome to my application video. I'm going to show you how easy it is to apply Jamberry. I'm going to start by showing you some things that I use for my application process. To get started, what I like to do, first, just so you know, I've applied all my jams except for one, just to keep the video short. But yesterday, actually no, earlier today, I prepped my nails. Nail prep is really, really important. So you want to make sure to get rid of your cuticles on the nail. You have a cuticle that goes around the edge of the nail, and then there's an invisible cuticle on the nail itself. So I like to use a cuticle remover. It makes it so much easier. You just apply it on the nail. Jamberry does sell it, and then you let it sit for a short bit, and then you just push it up, and all the dead skin and cuticle just removes, and then you rinse your hands, and it makes it really, really easy. So you want to remove your cuticle because you don't want to have any ridges. You want to be able to get a perfect seal with your wraps. If there's any ridges, it'll create a little air bubble and they won't adhere properly. So taking care of your cuticles is really important. So I did that earlier today. I took care of my cuticles, and then tonight, the next step, what I like to do before my application, is I like to do a pre-soak, and it's with something really easy most people have at home, black tea. Okay, it has to be black tea. It helps to dehydrate the nail, so it removes any excess oils. Oils is not Jamberry's friend. Oils are going to, it's just you want to remove the oil because they just won't stay very well if you have really oily nails. So black tea and Dawn soap. This helps remove oil too and grease. So I do a soak. I heat it in the microwave, and I add some soap to it, just a couple drops, 2 minutes each hand. I'll do it once the tea is cool. So I do the soak, and then I rinse my nails. And this afternoon, I took the time I have to personally trim my jams. This is Fall Fancy. I love it. I have to trim them. Not everybody does. And I don't really have to trim very much at all, actually. For my nails, because I don't have, I have very narrow arch, I just have to cut just ever so slightly on each corner of the jam. And I know what I have to do. I don't even have to look at it now. I know how to trim them, but we do have a little technique of a template that you could reuse. So, until you get used to what you have to trim off, it's kind of like a nifty little guide. And you use actually this clear part to make the template. And then you save it. So you know how to cut them each and every time. And that's going to be on the party wall. So keep an eye out for that. So I trim them before I start. And so you're going to want your heater. You can use a blow dryer, but the first time I did it with a blow dryer, my jams blew in the sink and got wet, and it was kind of a disaster. But I really like, most of all, hands-free. I like to be hands-free. Also, too, if you could listen, it's really quiet. So if you have babies napping, you don't need to worry. It's a lot quieter than a blow dryer. So you need your heater or a heating source. You need your jams. I got my soak stuff that I recommend. My jams don't move. They just don't move with that soak. It's great. You want your orange stick. I actually pick up the jams with a stick. You don't want to touch them with your fingers because your fingers have oils in them. And again, oil is not the friend of jams. So, or clean tweezers that have been wiped down with alcohol. So I like to do an orange stick. And then cuticle pusher, rubber cuticle pusher, Jamberry nail file, my scissors, or you could do nail clippers, my Jamberry prep wipe. You want to wipe the nail, even though I did the soak, you want to wipe the nail down as you go, one by one as you go, okay? And that's just going to remove all the excess oil. Okay, and here I have my pinky jam of Fall Fancy, and I'm going to apply that now for you. So what I first do is I'm just going to wipe the nail down like we talked about, just because any lotion, anything like that, you don't want it on the nail. So I'm going to let that dry. And while I'm letting that dry, I'm going to get my orange stick. I'm gonna just work the jam off onto the stick. Really easy. Okay, so there we go. And I am gonna apply a little bit of heat. I kind of always go a little bit extra with heat, just because I like to really melt them on my fingernails. But once they start to curl, I know you can't really see, but once it starts to curl, it's usually cooked. Each jam has different heating times. The sparkles are thicker, they need more heat. This one is pretty much done, but again, I kind of like to really heat them up good. Okay, so that is done. And then I'm going to take it and apply it right on the nail. Perfect. Awesome. And then you want to get your cuticle pusher and push it down the middle, center first. And then you do not want it to touch the skin, and it's better to be smaller, on the smaller side, than too big, because if it touches the skin, again, you won't get that perfect seal, and it will lift. And so I'm pressing it down, and I like to use my fingers to press it down too, just like that. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just pressing it down, just like that. Great, so it's on the nail, as you could see. You could use now nail clippers or scissors. My nails are short, I always keep them really short. I'm not a long nail fan, but whatever works best. So I'm just gonna trim them. Some people don't file the ends off. One thing I wanted to show you, and I forgot the step. Usually before I trim them, and I forgot, I will take the jam while it's still got length on it, and I will heat it up again after it goes on the nail. And then what I do is I take it and I stretch it and I pull it over the tip of the nail. It helps to prevent lifting. But yeah, so you wanna, when you have just applied it, it'll be, there'll be length, heat it up again, and then you just pull and stretch, pull and stretch, pull and stretch, and then you trim it. So that's a nice little trick that actually, it just works. It helps to prevent lifting, which sometimes people get. It's a little bit of a learning curve. The soak will help prevent that too, but that's just a little trick I like to do. And then basically I just go over it and I just push down, and with my thumb is fine. And then what I actually do now, and I didn't actually bring it in with me, I left it in the other room, but I get a plastic sandwich baggie and I wrap it and hold it tight over the nail, and I make sure that it wraps over the tip, and I apply heat. And what that does is the heat kind of goes into the plastic and helps spread the heat evenly over the jam and really seals it in really, really good. So that would be the next step. I allow that to cool. And then the last step is filing the edge. Not everybody does this, but just straight downward motion. Some people like to do a slight angle so that it takes off just like a hairline on the edge of the nail so that they don't get snags. And you just have to kind of play around to see what you best prefer. Also too, some people like to use glass files. I do personally like to use glass files, but the Jamberry ones are very good because they're coarse, so they really just kind of get that free edge off of the wrap. But as you could see, it's really easy. It takes literally 30 seconds. And now I have some beautiful fall wraps. That is fall fancy. Thanks so much. Comment below if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. There's lots of tricks and tips that I could help you with, and enjoy.